Hi everyone, my name's Amara and I'm one of the physios from Sports Care and Physiotherapy. Today I'm going to be talking you through a simple yet effective mobility sequence which can be included as part of your recovery session, or it can be something which can be done during the day, an effective one if you've been working from home and are getting a little bit stiff and tight. So this is going to be targeting our thoracic spine, our lumbar spine, and most of the major groups for our legs. So I'm going to get you to start on the side of your mat. We're first off going to start with a roll down. So key here is to try and get nice segmental movement through our spine. We're going to go chin to chest and slowly roll all the way down until you feel like you can't go any further. From here, I'm going to get you to bend into your knees if you need. Place the hands on the ground and then walk yourself forwards until you're in a nice high plank position. I'm going to get you to hold strong here, so tummy on, hands should be underneath the shoulders, and take a nice few deep breaths. From here, I'm then going to get you to lower yourself down onto the mat. We're going to bring those forearms further forward so that the elbows are underneath our shoulders. I'm then going to get you to push upwards through the elbows and look upwards towards the ceiling, lifting through the chest. It's important here to make sure we don't drop into the shoulders. We want to lift that chest, opening up through the front. Okay? You should be getting a little bit of a gentle stretch through your lower back with this one. Next, I'm going to get you to lower yourself down onto the floor. Bring those hands underneath your shoulders and then gently push yourself up, sinking the hips backwards and floating down to the ground here. This is a lovely little child's pose, which is a great one for opening up through the front of the chest as well as through your lower back. So I'll be holding this position here for at least 30 seconds. Next, I'm going to get you to move your right hand over to the right side of the mat and then gently place your left hand on top. From here, sink down into the ground further if you can. You should feel a nice stretch on the left-hand side of your trunk with this position. After you finish holding here for 30 seconds, I'm going to get you to move your left hand over to the left side of the mat, right hand going on top here, and repeating. Next, bring those hands back to the kind of shoulder width apart, and then slowly bring yourself up into a 4-point kneeling position. So from here, we want to make sure that our hands are directly underneath our shoulders and knees are directly underneath hips. From here, we're going to move into a cat and cow position, of which we're going to hold for about 10 seconds in each position. So slowly tuck head and bottom underneath as you arch your upper back up towards the ceiling like a mountain. Slowly then, keeping the limbs in the same position, move through the opposite direction, opening your chest up again and looking up towards the ceiling. To keep this active, we want to do a nice little shoulder blade stroke, squeeze while we're here. Move through that one more time for me. So moving through segmental motion, arching that upper back up, and then slowly reverse that again, opening up towards the ceiling. From here, we're going to come upwards into kneeling. We're going to bring our left foot forward, right leg back. You should have a nice 90-degree position through the front leg as well as through the back. From here, I'm going to get you to bring both arms up towards the ceiling, lifting nice and strong. Hands come together at the top, and we're going to lean backwards into your lower spine just a little bit, just to wherever feels comfortable. From here, I'm going to get you to come upright again. Move the left hand down so it's on the side of your hip, and then I'm going to get you to drop your right hand over towards your left side, and we're going to lean into the front of that right hip a little bit more, trying to target our hip flexors here. Holding this position for 30 seconds, making sure we're breathing throughout. From here, we're going to transition into a kneeling hamstring stretch. So straighten that leg out in front of you, and then from here, slowly tilting forwards through the trunk. Now, if you're feeling this intensely behind the back of the knee, it might be because you're a little bit more neurally tight, which is quite common. So instead, I'm going to get you to bend the knee, keep a soft bend here, and then lean forwards a little bit more to try and interfere through the back of your thigh here, versus all behind the back of the knee. Once we're finished holding here for 30 seconds, I'm then going to get you to drop down into a pigeon stretch, which is to work through our glute. So drop that leg down in front of you at a little bit of an angle, and we should be feeling that all through the back of our left glute. So holding this upright position, or if you're looking for a deeper stretch, you can move down onto your forearms and relax into the floor here. Hold this for 30 seconds before moving back up into a nice 4-point kneeling position. We're going to work through our cat and cow again. So ensure that setup is good, and then slowly inhale this time as you arch upper back upwards. And then exhaling as we drop the opposite way, opening up the chest, squeezing through the shoulder blades, looking out towards the ceiling. Work through that one more time, so tucking underneath, head under, bottom under, and then gently reversing this. Exhaling as we go. Gently then move to the opposite side, so our right leg is going to come forwards this time, 90-degree angle again. This time I'm lifting both arms up to the ceiling, hands are coming together at the top, lean backwards here just wherever is comfortable. Nice deep breath going all the way through. From here, then I'm going to get you to drop your right hand down onto the side of your hip and lean your left hand over to the right side, sinking a little bit further through the front of the right hip if you can. Sorry, the left hip here. Aiming to feel that stretch of our hip flexors, and even if you're tight there, part of the front, part of your quad. Slowly come out from here, moving into our kneeling hamstring stretch. I want you to straighten out the right leg and then gently tilt your trunk forwards. Once again, if you're really feeling it through the back of the knee quite strongly, bend that knee just a little bit and then lean it further forwards through your trunk if able. Trying to keep a nice neutral spine here. Aiming to feel it all through the back of the thigh. Once you finish holding here for 30 seconds, we're going to then transition down into our glute stretch. So tuck that leg underneath you and sink down to the floor. Once again, staying upright if this is enough of a stretch for you, or gently moving down onto the ground to get a deeper stretch here. Making sure we keep a nice deep breath sequence going all the way through. Once you've held here for 30 seconds, bring that leg up and underneath you. Then tucking the toes underneath, pressing through the hands, lift the hips up nice and high into a nice little downward dog position here. We're really trying to keep our thoracic spine nice and flat here. If it feels too intense of a stretch down the back of the legs, you can pedal through the heels a little bit. So sinking one side down while the other comes up, and then alternating. From here, I'm going to get you to walk those feet in towards your hands. You can bend the knees a little bit here, but still try and remain folded forwards. And then slowly from here, rolling back up, vertebrae by vertebrae, until we get to the top. So that was just a short mobility sequence, once again targeting our upper back, lower back, and most of the major groups in our legs. Each stretch should be held for 30 seconds, and make sure you're taking nice deep breaths, trying to breathe deeply down into the belly and exhaling that whole breath as we work through those. Hi everyone, my name's Amara, and today I'm going to be talking you through 3 of my favourite foam roller exercises for improving general upper back stiffness and improving mobility through this region. The first one is going to be a variation of a thread the needle stretch. We're going to be going down to 4-point kneeling, having the foam roller by the side. And all we're going to do from here is take the opposite arm to the foam roller and let that sink through, rolling along the foam roller, taking the arm with us. Hold here, trying to relax down into the ground as much as you can before returning back to that 4-point kneeling position. Repeating this a few times, holding at the end of range position here. This is also a great stretch for the back of the shoulder, as well as through the upper part of the trunk. If you'd like to intensify this a little bit, you can then come back to the midline before rotating up to the ceiling the opposite way, stretching through the opposite part of our trunk. The next exercise, which I really like, is one which opens up through the front part of our trunk. So I'm going to get you to lie long ways on the foam roller. Bottom is going to be down one end, our head is going to be down the other. Feet should be shoulder width apart, and we're going to start here with a nice deep breath. So I'm going to get you to inhale as we lift those arms up towards the ceiling, Exhale as we gently drop our hands overhead, trying to relax them down to the ground as much as possible. This one may be a little bit uncomfortable for certain shoulder pathologies, so if you're unsure or if you're getting pain here, it's a good one to check with your physio. After you've held this position here for 30 seconds, I'm then going to get you to open up through a nice 90-90 position and stretch out through the front part of your chest. A great one for opening up your pecs, as well as getting a little bit of thoracic extension here. Relax them down by your side and repeat that again. So inhaling as we go up, exhaling as the arms float overhead and just letting them go to wherever they feel comfortable. Holding here before then transitioning out into that nice 90 position. If this feels uncomfortable through the shoulders, you can go a little bit lower with those elbows and still try to relax them down to the ground, and that should still open up that front part of your trunk. The last little exercise, which I find is quite a good one for reducing upper back stiffness, is some segmental extension with the foam roller. So with this, you're going to place the foam roller kind of halfway down your back, or for girls, this is probably around the bra strap line to begin with. So keeping your bottom on the ground, I'm then going to get you to place your hands behind your head to support the weight of the head here, so we're not straining through the front of our neck. I'm then going to get you to gently drop over to some nice extension over the foam roller. Now, if you feel a little bit of a block here and feel like you can't push any further, then don't push into that. It shouldn't be uncomfortable. We just want to hold the stretch at that range and then slowly come back up. I would drop into this position a few times. So dropping down, holding here for a few seconds before slowly coming back up. Gently move the foam roller up a little bit, so kind of midway between those shoulder blades. And then I'm going to get you to do the same thing. So hands behind the head, supporting the weight, and then gently extend over into the ground as much as you can, making sure bottom stays in contact with the ground the whole time. Slowly come back up here, and then gently drop over again. Once again, repeating this a few times at each level, making sure we're not pushing through any restricted blocks, which you may come across. Move it up one more time. Once again, hands behind head, extend over. Try to lift the part of your trunk up towards the ceiling and work through whatever available range you've got. So they're just some great exercises there to open up through the front of the chest, reduce general thoracic stiffness, and improve your range through the upper part of your body. They're good ones to include as part of a recovery session, or additionally, you can perform them at home if you've been working from home or needing more of a stretch through that upper part of your trunk. Thanks so much.